Hey everyone, this is Austin Schur here with We Write About Music, and today I'm speaking with Kester Chalkley. He's got a record out right now called An Evening with Kester, and I am super excited to talk to him all about it. Kester, I want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your day for being here. How are you doing?
Yeah, it's a pleasure. I'm doing really well. I assume most of your listeners are in the US at the moment, so I'm in Australia. In case you haven't worked
Actually,
out the
yeah,
accent.
I think about 20% of our listeners and viewers are in Australia. So we're pretty much spread all over the place. But it's always great to talk to someone outside of the US to get different perspectives on things.
Yeah, it's nice to talk to people outside of Australia. I tell
Yeah, I'm
you.
sure of it. Yeah, how are things going over there? I know, there's been crazy lockdowns here and there, but I don't know what's going on in your state.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm in Queensland, and we're quite lucky. It's a subtropical place.
Mhm.
It's really hot today. It's probably about 32, 33 Celsius.
Wow.
I'm not sure what that is in
I
Fahrenheit.
know I know enough
Um,
to know that that's very hot over here.
so I'm sweating a little bit here. I'll probably
Yeah.
get the shine happening soon. Um, but yeah, it's very uncertain. Lots of uncertainty happening around the place. Yeah. Sometimes I just want to not think about it or
Yeah,
whatever.
you're right.
But
Let's not think
we're on
about it.
holidays now.
That's good to
Yeah,
hear.
I think it's yeah, yeah, yeah. So I don't.
Let's
That's not meaning to
no, don't
bypass.
even worry about it. Don't even worry about it. I brought you on to talk about the music, so I want to get right to it.
Yeah.
The record is called An Evening with Kester. I have listened a few times at this point, and I've loved it more the more that I've listened. The first thing that I really want to talk about is
Thank
there are
you.
some incredible stories just within the lyrics and the themes that you cover here. I would love to for you to expand on what it's really all about, and if there's, one message or just a collection of little pieces of your life.
I think, in a nutshell, it will be a collection of pieces and events that have happened in my life. And being a songwriter, it's nice that I can express those things in an artistic manner rather than just a literal litany of lyrics and things like that. I can get
Exactly.
a bit creative.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And and
So is
yeah.
there any particular song is there a song that stuck out for you that I can give a little bit more detail on?
No, not necessarily. I mean, just, the my limited knowledge of you and what you told me about the record beforehand was a huge help. But even the more I know that when I go back in for more listens to try to, connect those dots within the lyrics, it's going to slowly unravel itself. Is there one song specifically that if you had to sort of introduce a listener that you would recommend they check it out first?
Hmm. Um, there's a few different styles on the album, so it really depends on the style.
Right.
But I think "Walk in Peace" is one of my favorite tunes. It's although it's got a pop sort of production,
Sure.
not boppy pop. It's more that I don't know. It's a down tempo sort of song. But the lyrics are "I will walk in peace," and it's about finding the strength, finding that inner certainty, and just holding the line that is the right line.
Totally. I wanna go back to one thing you said about there just being so many different genre influences on the record. That's
Yeah.
probably the thing that I enjoyed the most. It doesn't stick to one mold. It goes off and it experiments, and there's just a little bit of everything featured on that. What was your thought process, uh, before you started making it in terms of like how to go in the direction of, pop and rock and just a little bit of electronic here and there?
Well, I'm also very fortunate in that I do all the production myself. I've been
Good
interested
to
in
know.
yeah, yeah. I've been interested in audio recording and MIDI production,
Sure.
musical instrument digital interface for those who don't know what MIDI means. And I've been doing it since I was like probably 14, 15 years old with
Wow.
tape to tape, a tape to tape deck. I'd record
Sure.
it here, then download it on there, and yeah. So now I've got a fairly sophisticated system at home, and but that gives me full creative control. So I'll go in and sometimes the songs I cross them through a few different genres until I go, oh yeah, that sits nicely. And other times, which usually means I've recorded it 3 or 4 times in different genres,
Sure.
but other times I'll just know straight up. I'll go, I really it needs to sit here, and so I've got the skills and the knowledge from all those years of production to do that myself.
I
So I
love that.
really enjoy that.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, that's probably the thing that I enjoyed most is that you didn't hold yourself to any constraints. And as wide as it comes with like within the genres, there's still like this cohesive feeling to it. You're listening from start to finish and it still has that signature sound coming from you, and I think that's what I enjoyed. So
Oh, great.
I'm happy. I'm happy that you had the production control. There's so many artists out there that, they kind of offboard it to someone else who knows what they're doing, but that kind of brings me to my next thing here. You've been around in music for a while. Like, this isn't a new
Yeah.
thing to you. But this is a relatively new record coming out in 2020. So, from the bands that you were in earlier in life to now, putting out solo music, is there anything new on the horizon for you? And I guess, what took so long for you to put out a solo album?
Okay. Yes, I've got. I'm a performing artist, so actually,
Sure.
I'm a dancer, I'm an actor, and I'm a
Nice.
musician. So my life has been basically a bit of everything, and so I haven't had a stream of music as a main focus
Hmm.
consistently. So it'll be delving into the dance world, or it'll be delving into the dramatic world, or music. And so music, me writing and producing, sort of fits on top of what I have to do on a day-to-day basis. Um, which I'd like to change the scales on that. To be honest, I'd
Sure.
love music to be a much larger part of my life and what I'm doing, because I've got a lot of songs. Um, if we count the ones I wrote when I was learning how to write songs when I was 14,
Yeah.
I've got over I've got over 450 compositions, and
What?
and
Jeez.
I've recorded quite a few of them. And on my computer, I get some ideas, and I've got this little file called starters,
Hmm.
and there's got to be at least 200 starters in that file. So that's for when
Jeez.
I'm a bit bored. I'll sit down and I'll go in and go, what was I thinking then? And then see if it'll inspire me
Sure.
again.
Well, so then let's
Yeah.
take a small peek into the future. Are you the type of person that is always working on the next big thing? Kind of sounds like you have this backlog of music. I don't want to push you to say if you're working on, more singles or an EP or something like that.
The answer is yes, and it's
Hmm.
I do have another album in the pipeline. Um, And I guess the drawback is that I am producing it myself, which means
Right.
I do it when I can,
Hmm.
as opposed to having a time frame.
Yeah.
If I had a deadline, I'd probably be a little bit more in there,
Sure.
um, if you know what I mean.
No, I
But
totally understand.
I just get to sit down and I do my music as I like,
Right.
and yeah. But I definitely want to release another one in 2022,
Nice.
and I've written a number of Christmas tunes over the years, and I really love doing that.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping by the end of next year, not hoping, my plan is by
Sure.
the end of next year I will have a full album of Christmas tunes.
Very cool. And see, I think that's one of the most difficult parts when you're producing and doing everything by yourself is you don't want to spend too much time on it to where it feels like a job. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
there's that fine line between, your normal life and making music and not working too hard on it, but also feeling inspired to do something at the same time.
yeah, exactly, exactly. And I consider myself quite lucky because I'm inspired every time I listen to
Right.
some music, anybody's music. I'll listen and it will inspire, it'll get those neurons going. So I'm never worried about, oh, will I have the ideas? Will I have the, um, I've always got a pot to choose from. All I have to do is put on the radio and there it goes. I've got some
Totally.
neurons firing and I'm like, oh, great. And so
Absolutely.
it's,
Well, were you
yeah.
listening to anything specifically to get inspired for this record? Or is it just like the sound that you wanted to make in general?
Um, there's a band called 21 Pilots.
Sure.
And it's more I'm pretty certain you'd know, most people would know them, but
Sure.
I love them and I love the writing. I just think they're amazing and their production is incredible.
Hmm.
Um, but what I really like is that they're not afraid to write the music however they want it.
Sure.
They're not limited to, oh, we're a pop artist or an indie artist or with this, that, or the other thing. They just have their music and they do it. And to me, they're one of the most authentic acts out there. And I just love their music. I listen to them pretty much on a daily basis.
That's awesome.
And for production and also for that, just keeping that inspiration to go, it's okay. I can write and produce whatever I want.
Right. And it kind of feels like that way in the music industry in general nowadays is because the technology and production is so advanced, artists everywhere aren't holding themselves to just pop music or just rock music. There's so many different inspirations and influences that are coming in. So when I hear records like yours that actually bridge the gap between pop and rock, like you're setting yourself up to attract so many more audiences that like a little bit of everything.
Yeah, well, that's great to know.
Yeah, no, seriously, whether that was the intention or not, um, I'm basically saying that I think everyone will listen to it, no matter where on the spectrum of music they enjoy. So,
Oh, great. Thank you.
of
Something for
course,
everyone. I'm glad, and
exactly.
I'm glad you liked it. It means a lot because when you're right, like in my position, I've really just got myself and my friends. I'm in this little box, and
Yeah.
here you go. Here, what do you think of? Oh, it's great. It's great. Or you know what I mean.
You,
But to actually have a complete stranger
right. Well,
say
you
that
need
they've
people to be
enjoyed it.
authentic.
Mm,
I don't think that I
exactly.
would ever outright tell someone, "Hey, your music sucks." I don't think I have the heart. I don't think I have the heart to do that. But
Yeah.
there's a way to be nicely, nicely constructive and some positive criticism without hurting their feelings. But
Yeah. Exactly.
that's okay. So, how long from start to finish did it take you to finish this?
Well, this is an interesting thing. Some of the tracks I recorded a long, long time ago, and they were at maybe 85, 90% finished, and they were
Okay,
shelved. But once I'd made the decision to get it properly recorded, I had to redo guitars, I had to redo
sure.
keyboards, drums, vocals. I had to redo so many things, even the white tracks that were at 85%. Then
Oh man.
uh, so, like, it was a big job, but I reckon from me deciding to do it to actually doing it probably would have been about 12 weeks.
Oh wow, I was expecting a lot longer for some reason.
But
That's not that bad.
yeah, so from saying I've got enough songs here and they're not finished, but I'll have to finish them, to then mastering them, getting
Yeah,
them on there, and getting them uploaded with the lyrics and getting a
sure.
distributor. 12 weeks, I'd say.
Is there something about the entire process that you looked forward to the most? Whether it was the writing part of it, the actual production, like anything in between that stood out to you?
Oh, it's funny because I'm often in a position like I'll be, oh, I really can't wait to get this idea down,
Sure.
and then I'll be like, I'm over putting ideas down. What do I? Oh, now I'll do some mixing, and so I really enjoy the mixing, getting the levels right, and
Gotcha.
do I want this? Do I want this to pop? Do I want this to pull back? That's like an artist with the colors. What? How many color? How
Exactly.
many?
That's where it all comes
Like that type of
alive.
thing. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't
and
think
then
people understand that part of it. They're just like, yeah, you just get in the room and you play music and that's it. But it really
yeah,
is like a painter going in and putting the details and little touches on it.
yeah. So
Beautiful.
sometimes I'm really in the mood for that. Like I do really enjoy the engineering side of things.
Sure.
So if I'm not in the mood to be writing and creating, then I'll do the engineering side of things. And
Nice.
then if I'm really overdoing all the engineering, I'll take a step back and I'll put new ideas down and
Makes
things like
sense.
that.
Are you currently playing shows or do you have any plans to in the new year?
I'm actually going to be doing a release gig, even though it's like a year
That's
late.
awesome.
Um, yeah, so I've got a three piece that we're going to do the music interpreted through a three piece. So with
Okay.
drums, guitar, and bass, with two vocalists, me and the guitarist is on vocals. So obviously I won't have all the big production and the violins and
Sure.
all that sort of stuff. Um, so yeah, we're going to be doing that in. We're aiming for end of January.
Okay.
I have that already. Holiday season. Why did I think it would be a good idea to try and get that underway?
Yeah, no, it's just you want to make it work, but it never works. So I don't blame you. That's really
But
cool though. Who are these friends of yours that are playing in the band or just, guys you've known for a while? Or...
yeah, they're actually my students because
Cool.
I teach drums, I teach guitar, I teach bass, I teach keys, I teach
Perfect.
yeah
You pick the
yeah.
best
So
students and you tell them what to do. That's
pretty much,
amazing.
and they're all grown ups too. They're all adults. So
Awesome. Okay.
yeah, you can tell I work with kids a lot because I call them grown ups
Right, exactly. No, I was a
instead of
camp
adults.
counselor for 10 years, so I make that mistake too occasionally.
Yeah, big
Um,
people.
right, exactly. So we're recording this at the end of the year right now. There's like 10 more days left in the year. I want you to put yourself in the shoes of yourself next year at this time. Is there
Mm.
anything that you'd really like to accomplish by the end of next year, whether it be musically or professionally or just like personal goals for yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. Musically is probably where my main passion and desire is at the moment,
Sure.
and I can't see that it'll change because I've done really well in the other fields, and now it's time for me to put my efforts
Hmm.
into something that has been with me forever. I've been writing music
Right.
even as a little kid. I'd be writing poetry and singing it out to my mum and dad, and
Amazing.
so it's been with me forever, and now it's time for me to actually do something with it. And so a goal would be to be achieving lots and lots and lots. I don't want to put a figure on it, but thousands of streams a
Of
month
course.
with my music, just
Absolutely.
because then I would know that it's getting out there. So
Totally.
I guess the main goal is that I would love my music to be heard by a, a far greater audience than just around me.
I love that. I love that. And you know what? As you continue to make music and do these releases and it's like the social media thing of trying to be active when you're not on it that much, but it's also
Yeah,
word of mouth because one great song will be shared around and it spreads like wildfire. You see it happen all the
yeah,
time and it's difficult. But hey, Australia as a whole has been churning out some pretty amazing music nowadays. So the eyes are on the eyes are on you guys, I think so.
yeah. I'm
Um,
blessed to be surrounded by some really good musicians up here in
yeah,
Queensland. Yeah, and John
absolutely.
Holcomb, you'd know he's a friend of
Yeah,
mine, personal friend of mine,
that's really
and
cool. I know him.
yeah, yeah. I taught his son at the school. I was the music teacher at his school, and
Nice.
so that's our connection. And he's been a real inspiration, a real inspiration. He's a great bloke too.
That's awesome. I'm actually really happy that you just brought that up. So my next thing for you was going to be, can you recommend any like local artists from your local scene that people should have their eyes on, or just anything in this past year that was on your playlist that you think people should be checking out?
From local, um, I'm just trying to think. Obviously, John,
Yeah,
definitely. Um, Tim Hall. I don't know if you've
Okay.
heard of Tim Hall.
Sounds
Yeah,
familiar, maybe.
yeah. He was in a band in the '90s called the Whitlams, but
Okay.
he's done a lot of solo stuff as well.
Gotcha.
So he's great. Um, he's another personal friend, very talented. I've got another guy. He goes by the nomica. Is that the word where they don't have their real name? They have their um, pretend name,
Oh,
their stage
moniker?
name.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Monica.
yeah.
That's
There
the
you go.
one.
That's all right. Close enough. Close
Sorry.
enough. All
Yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah. He goes by the name Scozba,
Oh,
Scozba. It's very electronic and
sure.
techno. He's got some good tracks too. Yeah,
Awesome.
another personal friend. Yeah,
Thank you for the recommendations. I will make sure to check those guys out. Uh,
no worries. You'll be trimming a lot of my ramblings, I'm sure.
that's all right. No, no, no. It's all going in there. Don't worry about it. Kester, I have one more question for you at this point. And basically,
Yeah.
the question is for the person that is going to discover you from this, and for the person that is going to listen to your music for the first time, what is an
Mhm.
opening message that you'd like to say to them?
I think just work out what it is that you want in your life, and the rest will follow. Just know if you don't know what you want, you can't get it. But if you do know what you want, you'll know where to go and what to do. And the people will just come in and help you.
That's a fantastic answer. Seriously, I've heard it all, and that was like a very deep, thoughtful one. Kester,
Thank you.
I want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your day. I'm so happy that we can make this work. And for
Absolute pleasure.
everyone else there that is still listening or watching, I just want to plug the album one more time. It's called An Evening with Kester. As I've said many times throughout the last 20 or so minutes, it is fantastic. I hope everyone listens to it, and I sincerely hope to speak again.
Thank you so much, Austin.
You are very welcome.
Have a great
Have
day.
a great rest of your day. I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.
All right. Bye.